From Jenna Ortega rewriting a cliched romantic arc, to Joaquin Phoenix's chilling refrigerator scene in Joker, actors have been going off scripts for decades. And I have a feeling they'll continue doing it for a few more. Just like I think Jenna doesn't regret giving her character more depth, the young actress is the latest high-profile actor who took creative liberties with her character. Changing scripts, or in industry terms, ad-lib, is a tradition as old as Hollywood itself. Jenna's breakout performance on Wednesday is both proof of her dedication to her craft, and of course, the confidence she brings to the table. The writer's table, that is. It's commonly considered off base for actors who were supposed to act out the lines without giving it too much thought. At least, that's what everyone's understanding of an actor's work is. The 20-year-old was very vocal about what she liked and what she didn't like in the script. This resulted in her unofficial screenwriter's role that she took on without the screenwriters even knowing about it. She started by toning down the love triangle, which didn't fit into Wednesday's whole persona. As you can imagine, this change by Ortega wasn't appreciated by the script supervisors. In fact, the modified lines would lead to a whole back and forth between the team. The Scream 6 actor took particular offense to the stereotyping of her otherwise complex character as a teenager with a high school crush. Ortega's portrayal of Wednesday Addams in the critically acclaimed Netflix series was well received all over the globe. Everyone lauded her for giving an otherwise stunted character so much depth. And all of that was only made possible by the fact that Ortega stepped up to the plate and told the writers what she wanted from her character. But that's just what the celebrated 20-year-old does with stereotypes. She cuts them out. I have a feeling she took inspiration from Meryl Streep. Meryl is an inspiration to all the path-breaking women looking for role models at the very top of Hollywood. This status didn't come overnight, though. The acclaimed actress was playing the character of Miranda Priestly in the film Devil Wears Prada, and she wanted to add emotional depth to her role. The result was a slow unveiling, rather than a lazy montage of her life, and what made her into the cutthroat power magnate she eventually became. For example, in the scene where her husband tells her he wants a divorce, Miranda takes the time to process it, and Meryl perfectly timed her character's reaction. The character being near tears but not actually crying shows the professional values instilled before her rise to the top of the editorial world. It certainly paid off big time, as Miranda continues to be one of her most memorable roles in recent times. This role added another round of accolades to the decorated actress's name. She set a benchmark for fellow female actors to follow. Meryl has been at the forefront of giving depth to female characters. Miranda was arguably one of her more prominent roles, and set a benchmark for lead roles of women in positions of authority for years to come. Doing away with the misogynistic elements in the film is also a goal of another actor. That is Henry Cavill, who chose to step away from just being a handsome showpiece. Cavill tweaked quite a few scenes to add more in-depth emotion to his character in The Witcher. The unnecessary, explicit scenes were toned down on Cavill's insistence. It slowly added up to make him a character with more soul. But it was more balanced now, largely to Henry's insistence on exploring his emotional side too. The benefit of this more nuanced view added up to that brilliant reunion scene at the end of Season 2, where Geralt and Yennefer meet once again. It was heartfelt and serene, and the stillness of these frames was Henry's vision alone. As a result, you can live this moment with the characters instead of seeing a more generic, love-making scene as any lesser film would be happy to do. Not with the 39-year-old actor, though, who knew when to stick to action and when to give in to emotions. Samuel L. Jackson didn't get the memo, I guess. Then again, he's a different actor altogether. Both Henry and Jackson have worked in different genres, and they're both spectacular actors in their fields. First off on that list of spectacular behavior is Samuel's interest in improvisation. The actor can truly express anything at any time, and it will be the right thing at the right time, no matter what the circumstance. A building may go up in flames, or a car could be on its fourth rollover. Sam's acting is effortless. Needless to say, it takes more than memorizing and delivering lines to reach this stage. Rather, you've got to immerse yourself into the role, as Jackson did when he worked on Snakes on McClane and stood his ground on a creative decision. Whereas the original project had promised fun and adventure, he found out that the makers were ready to change its name to a way more boring title. Pacific Air 121. Imagine that. Naturally, it was a big disappointment to Samuel, but he showed the same grit most of his iconic characters are famous for and issued an ultimatum. As a result, the producers stuck to the original title, and the whole film was just as ridiculous, yet fun, as its title. Just as it had been visualized by its lead actor. Speaking of lead actors though, big celebs are seen as less creative and adventurous in their roles. Reese Witherspoon is here to tell you that's not true at all. The actor played Annette in her way, and in her own words, she proved that whether you're an A-list superstar or a character actor, the idea of slotting actors into a category is absurd. The whole idea of acting is to be a shapeshifter. She proved this point when working with the character of Annette in Cruel Intentions. The result was a dramatic evolution. From a shy caricature of a girl woman to a more nuanced portrayal. Eventually, it was this portrayal that made it to the big screen. As more rewatches reveal more layers that were added with Reese's input to the screenplay, more instantaneous payoffs came too, in the form of $76 million at the box office. Plus the Blockbuster Entertainment Award for Reese Witherspoon. Overall, a pretty warm public reception to the iconic character, wouldn't you say? But first, you get to go through the freezing point. Literally. Just look at Joaquin Phoenix in Joker. The illustrious role of Batman's nemesis is a dark pit. Many had climbed into it before Joaquin, but I don't think any other actor but Heath Ledger had ever been so warmly received. The character draws many responses from different segments of society, depending on their ideologies. But on one thing, all audiences were united. It was one of the best, if not the best portrayal of the Gotham City anti-hero. This wouldn't have been possible without Phoenix and his crazy and exciting ideas to bring his character to life. This included sitting in a sub-zero refrigerator after emptying it of its contents. As a modification of the original screenplay, this was a surprise to the rest of the cast and crew. But in Joaquin they trusted, and the result was a fascinating and grim portrayal of the legendary character. Talk about going all in. It was a painfully epic moment that resonates with subtext, while being acted meticulously as well. Again, actors have been known for going off script before, and this just proves it's all for good cause. Well, that's all for the times that actors went off script in their movies.